Welcome to another video. Following all the GShade drama that happened yesterday, the developer of said tool decided to take it down completely, which took any user of the well-known shader software the freedom to decide if they take a potential risk of harmful malware on their computers or not. So GShade is dead, long live ReShade. For those of you that don't have a clue of what happened, check out my video about that in the description. However, what's done is done, and maybe it was about time to venture onwards into the original software, which is called ReShade, that works nearly identical and already works to at least 95% of what GShade could accomplish. So let's get started and set it up for you with the help of Rika's amazing guide found on GitHub or in the video's description. First of all, if you don't have any specific presets or shaders from GShade that you modified yourself or that other creators modified, you can easily just uninstall GShade now. However, if you had the one or the other preset and shader, make sure to navigate to your folder in which GShade's files can be found. And then you copy or extract the GShade presets and the GShade shaders folder to your desktop. If you already uninstalled GShade and all of its content, just use Rika's link under point 2 and use these. Afterwards, uninstall GShade through the app, but I highly advise you to also navigate to your installed programs and uninstall GShade there as well. Now open up your games directory and delete the DXGI DLL or D3D11 DLL files that GShade creates upon its installation process. As with all the steps before, I highly advise you to open up Rika's ReShade migration guide for all the connected links and the whole idea in a written form. And now it's time to install ReShade, which you can find in the GitHub page on step 4. Open it up and ignore all the getting banned warnings and search for your Final Fantasy XIV X file. Just make sure to select the FFXIV DX11X file. Then the installation wizard will ask about presets, just skip that and click next for installing the default shaders in the next window. Do this another time and finish the installation. Okay, now to the part where I think most people had some issues or no shaders or presets being available in their ReShade software. Like Rika wrote in the guide, now we have to replace the ReShade shaders with the shaders we used in GShade. Note here that shaders are not your presets. Presets are just configuration files that check or uncheck boxes on the shaders you have available. So now we want GShade shaders to replace the ReShade shaders by navigating to our backed up folder in the former GShade shaders, choose all the shaders within and copy them. Then navigate to the ReShade shader folder inside our game directory, and if that folder doesn't exist, create a new one or just repeat the installation process of ReShade again. Inside the folder there are a couple of ReShade shaders that you want to replace by deleting them and then inserting the copied GShade shaders. Now to get the full functionality of the UI not affected special source of GShade that we use to let the UI elements ignore some of the shaders, we have to navigate to Rika's link in step 7, download that file, extract it and copy all the fixed shaders shader into the shader folder as well, while making sure to overwrite any file when being asked for permission. Okay, if you followed everything, you should have a bunch of FX files inside of your ReShade shaders shader folder, and it should contain those we had in GShade shaders before, plus the download fixed shaders. If that looks completely different on your end, please do this step before again. Now to the presets. These are actually the easiest part as ReShade can open these presets, which are configuration files, from any place on your computer. Still, I would recommend to place them inside of your Final Fantasy folder just to keep things to the camps they belong to. Therefore, copy or extract the GShade presets you saved earlier into the game folder. Or if you do this for the first time or haven't backed these up, just download the default GShade presets from Rika's amazing document. And of course, my presets can still be found in our Discord server pinned under the ReShade presets channel. Now it is time to start the game and click yourself through the ReShade tutorial. But before opening up your first preset, I highly recommend to change the hotkey of the ReShade software to that hotkey you had before or that you feel comfortable with. And then definitely increase the font size to be able to actually read something. Both found under the settings tab. Then it is time to check your presets, navigate to the presets folder and double click on any of them. Note that the off preset should also be inside the same preset folder you're using frequently to disable your shaders if you need to. Unlike in GShade, a double click here is required, which will now indicate that everything works for you or not. If you don't see the presets filled with the usual boxes seen in the video, something went wrong with the shaders, so repeat the shaders copying steps again. Otherwise, there might be a couple of shaders that don't work perfectly, but I guess the ReShade community will find ways to fix them very soon. The ones I use for my personal presets do work completely and in the same way they did in GShade, with the same hit to performance. Unfortunately, right now there's a minor issue for some job gauges like the Bard, Monk or Astrologian, as these are somehow broken right now, but the temporary solution is to use the simple mode on these until anyone in the Reddit or GitHub guide has found a fix for this problem. Also, I figured out that my MSI Afterburner overlay didn't work properly, but that could basically be the Afterburner software itself that tends to be buggy from time to time as well. Maybe just something I will be able to fix very soon. For now, we face the nearly identical shader enhancement software, only that installing and replacing shaders is a bit more technical. So again, a big shout out to Rika for the amazing written guide on GitHub, which I absolutely recommend using alongside this video, especially as folders or zip files are very tricky to attach to the YouTube description. So props to Rika, especially for being so fast with that guide. With that being said, I hope everything works for you, and if you need files, check out Rika's guide. For my presets, our Discord server, and stick around for another comprehensive Nvidia filters and AMD equivalent guide, which can serve as a perfect alternative to GShade or ReShade in general. So, if you used GShade before, just do the same but with ReShade, and you will enjoy the full beauty in the world of shaders for a game that looks so much better with a little pinch of enhancement. Until Team Yoshida updates these things by themselves, stay healthy and keep loving Final Fantasy.